Hi, and welcome to YBE, Young Black Entrepreneur with me, Karabo Mukwape. I want to thank you so much for coming and spending time with me again, and I hope in answering another question today, I'll be able to help expand your knowledge and understanding of what it takes to succeed as a young black entrepreneur in these difficult times. Our question today is from Ntokozo, and he writes from Newcastle. He says, "Hi, Karabo, please can you help me? I'm a young person who's just graduated with a degree in engineering from a local university, and I want to know whether I ought to go into industry, try and find a job, or try and launch a business. The business that I've been dreaming of launching is an engineering consulting firm in the construction space, and it's something I'm very passionate about. Is now a good time to do it, or should I wait?" Ntokozo, that's a fantastic question. Thank you so much for writing through and asking. I hope that I can help. So, well done. I want to begin by saying congratulations. You've done so fantastically well to get a degree, to get to the end of your studies. That in itself is a great sign of your character, your hardworking work ethic, and your willingness to see things through to the end. You are already a part of a very small minority of South Africans who actually have made it to the point where they have a degree. So I want to tell you that whichever of these two choices you make, you are already in good company, and you have a great chance of success in these difficult times. So, should you jump straight into running the business that you want to run, or should you wait and go into industry? Well, in an ideal world, there's only one real answer to that question, and it's the obvious one. If I were you, I would certainly take the opportunity to spend the next number of years learning the trade in practice, in industry, working under the guidance of a more experienced practitioner than yourself, and gaining confidence in the practical aspects of the skills that you've learned at school. Certainly that is, in my experience and the experience of many people, always the best way to launch a business. Coming out of industry, having gathered the experience necessary to do so over a number of years, and therefore launching into business with the confidence that comes from knowing that you know that you know that you know that you know what you're doing. And so certainly that's the best way to do it. From what I've seen, many of the businesses that launch with the highest degree of success and the greatest degree of sustainability are people who used to be mechanics, who launched their own garages, people who used to be doctors in hospitals who launched their own practices, lawyers who used to work in big law firms who go out on their own after years of seeing how a professional corporate law firm is run, giving them that much better a chance of succeeding in their own standalone enterprise. So that's certainly the way to do it. But I understand that we live in unusual times in this country, and that a degree isn't what it always used to be, and that there are a great many of you watching this today who are graduates of various tertiary institutions who have impressive degrees and impressive subjects that I could never wish to have studied myself, who find yourself unemployed, who find yourself without the means of creating value for yourselves and for your families, and are trying now to reconsider how you can make a future for yourself. So for those of you in that circumstance, in Ntokozo, if you were to find yourself in that circumstance, well then clearly you have to make a fist of it. You have to, if the world won't give you what you want, you have to go and get it on your own. And I think as young black people in particular, I think oftentimes we find ourselves in exactly that situation where we have to make a way for ourselves where the world isn't willing to accommodate us. And so yes, I think there's real scope for you to launch an independent business. It's not the ideal way, certainly, as I've said, but if you were to do it, this would be my guidance to you. Even then, go out and make a friend, or make some friends, rather, in your industry. People who have experience, people who have credibility in the market, people who you trust, to show you and to guide you and to advise you as you go. It's so important for all of us. It's certainly been the case in my career that I have lent heavily on the wisdom of others, on the wisdom of those who've gone before me, and I don't think that's been a bad way to go. So I would advise you to find one or two practitioners who, though they might not be willing to give you a job, might well be willing to give you some of their time, might be willing to advise you, might be willing to tell you the do's and the don'ts of your industry, and who might be available to you as you begin to canvass for opportunities in the marketplace, able to help you choose which projects to do and which projects not to do, and as you run into difficulties in executing the projects you do choose, who would be available to you to advise you and give you a sense of the best way to proceed. This is absolutely crucial for all of us young black entrepreneurs. We need some way, somehow, to find a way always to create a community of people around us, older and wiser than us, who were willing to mentor us and guide us, so that we don't have to be completely alone in this thing, even if the offer of employment and that type of formation isn't available to us. For many of us, in fact, one of the great challenges is that we don't come from homes where we've seen business modeled for us. Our parents aren't necessarily titans of industry. Our parents weren't necessarily themselves entrepreneurs with significant commercial enterprises, and as such, we have the disadvantage of not having seen some of these things in practice. We've only read them in books, and so to that extent, we have to be willing and humble enough to invite people into our lives to play that key role of guiding us, mentoring us, leading us in understanding the things that, if we had to learn them all by ourselves, would certainly make the journey towards success that much longer. So Ntokozo, I think the world is your oyster. I think you have all kinds of opportunities in the built environment space. I think there's huge scope for someone who is young and hungry and has energy and has the technical know-how to deliver excellent results for their clients. If you can, find a job with a firm that will give you the opportunity to grow in a controlled environment where you can learn the skills you need to learn, the practical skills you need to learn, the business skills you need to learn to allow you to launch your business in the next 3 to 5 years. If that's not an option and life doesn't want to play ball with you that way, well, then you're going to have to man up, young man, and go out and launch into that space all on your own, but conscious of the fact that you need as much help as you can get. And to that end, I would advise you to find and lean on the advice of older men and women in the industry who you know and trust, who can lead you and guide you and protect you as you go about the journey of launching your business. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, and I look forward to hearing how you thrive over the course of the years ahead. Thank you. And that's it for today, Young Black Entrepreneur. If you have a question, don't hesitate to write to me. Drop me a message on our line. Drop me a video WhatsApp note. Drop me an SMS. Drop me a voice note. Any of the above, and I will be glad to answer your question and help you on your journey towards success. My name is Ntokozo. I thank you for your time, and I wish you a great day further. Cheers.